Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Arm Wrestling Tonight. This is Hollywood Connelly with the double biceps. It isn't the contract and legal requirement every single time we appear on camera. We are appearing on camera right now as it happens. Dave Stockbridge is off tonight, but we will look forward to his company again in future episodes. What we're going to do on this tonight's show was to continue reviewing the matches that took place at the AWE Champions League event, which was held here in Adelaide very recently, where we saw Brett Coutts taking on Lachlan Adair and also Maatiewarangi Heta from New Zealand in some amazing matches. So we've had a look through the Brett versus Lachlan match, and I'm just going to load up the Brett versus Maatiewarangi match so that we can have a look at that and see what techniques and what skill set were displayed by both men during this match. So let's bring that up here for everybody to see, and we'll kick things off. That's Brett having
My name is Maatiewarangi the Beast Heta
against
and I'm from Aotearoa.
I guess it is a little bit crazy having two matches in one night, but in my defence, I wasn't going to say no. I want both matches.
I'm the current New Zealand champ. I have been for the last 12 years. And I've just recently come off a win at Knuckles Up.
I've studied Matt a lot, and hopefully I don't need to use options 2 and 3, but there's plenty of options there, so I can't see him winning.
What it means to win this belt for me, there's actually a lot of reasons. One, me and Brett Coutts go back a long time ago, and the last match my grandmother ever watched was between me and Brett, and also I'm coming back to claim my title.
Matt and I's first match was either 2012 or 2013. Matt and a friend came over from New Zealand. They were both planning on taking out their weight classes, taking out the whole lot. That didn't work out too well for them. So I won the 95 kilo class, and then I beat Matt in the overall. So I took 4 titles that day, and I really want to have 3 belts. So planning that's how it's going to work out.
I'd like to give a shout out to all my supporters back home and around the world. Thank you for following my journey and always being there. And special mention to my family and my kids. This match is for you, Nan.
there we go. So we've got Maatiewarangi Heta is walking into the cage as we go here. You can see the 175 kilos of fury in Maatiewarangi Heta there. He is very pumped up and ready to go for this. Got a comment here from Term. He says, Rickett versus Lachlan, who wins? Not sure. I think it would be a great match. We'd love to put it together. I know that they train together, so they would have an idea as to how it's going back and forth between the two of them. But I think it's definitely a match that I would think would be competitive and would be very entertaining to watch. So we will see what happens in the future with both those men. School Ladyboy is here as well. He says, yo, as we're watching Maatiewarangi Heta walking into the octagon there as part of Diamondback Fighting Championships event. There is the man who is currently in this position right here, holding 2 title belts, having won the left-handed match against Lachlan Adair earlier in the night. David Jansen, I have to send an apology to you for we were supposed to do a show together today. I got my communications mixed up. We will reschedule. We'll do it again. I look forward to doing that out of Canada, hoping to get some good podcast stuff happening for David Jansen up there, but we will get it happening. We'll do another episode together. It'd be great. So you can see here, Brett Coutts and Maatiewarangi Heta. So Brett has already had a match. There was about an hour and a half between the matches on left and right. So he's had about an hour and a half to recover from that, which is still, a very short window of time, really, when you're talking about taking on somebody of Maatiewarangi Heta stature here. But Brett Coutts is the man. He says, I'm happy to do it. What was interesting for me in this setup here is Brett's arm positioning, and it's very vertical. You can see here, vertical, that's horizontal. Usually Brett wants to go inside in this position with the hook. That's where he is incredibly strong. You can see the size of his biceps in busting out of the shirt right there. And he usually will off that go, because he's not the fastest starter, as he will freely admit. He will be able to defensively catch people in this position, rely on this strength here and this strength here to absorb that first impact before he can bring it back through. And he's not. I did a top roll. I'm a natural top roller. I didn't mean to top roll, but yeah, he's in this position, and it's going to be supination that he's going to be using there. But yeah, it's interesting here because it is a slight variation of what he normally does. So he doesn't normally set up so vertical as he is right here, which I think, from what I could gather when I was commentating this event here, that he wanted to be in a higher position vertically with this arm for that initial hit, so that he could get more over the top of Maatiewarangi's hand. Let's have a look here.
And Brett Coutts just coming fresh off his latest type.
So a little bit of jostling. You can see how high Brett's hand is there. Maatiewarangi is sort of a little bit more in the middle of both. He's not this way. He's not completely that way. He's sort of right in the center. And it looks like, from that position, it looked like Maatiewarangi was almost starting a little bit under. Like not completely straight. He looked like he was sort of like this, but it worked out for him anyway, because they ended up slipping. They go to the straight. Let's get to the actual round start here. All right, so again, Brett going with that high position. You can see his wrist kicking forwards. Did you see that, ladies and gentlemen? I hope that you would see that. So watch right here. You see this little adjustment that Brett is making. He wants that hand pushed forwards. He wants this straight as possible. He doesn't want to be in this position. It's called the riser. So we're about to get the start. Deep breath from both men. Slight carve. Brett looking to the ceiling, wanting to concentrate. He's putting it all in through feel. Here we go. We get the start, and right straight away, Brett able to contain that hit, and he gets a stop really high. You can see how high he is above the pin pad there. Maatiewarangi has surged. He's in a good position in terms of what he would be ideally trying to do, but being able to catch so high and get that stop, 5 inches above the pad is absolutely enormous for Brett Coutts right here, because this is his game. So he's going to catch that. He's sitting on it. He starts to rotate. Did you see that rotation of the body and the arm? He doesn't want to be directly palm up. You can see on his hand here, he does have a slight angle. He's not like this. He's just a little bit like that. That's the reason he's able to hold in this position. So you can see he's taking a deep breath. He's very concentrated here. Maatiewarangi is putting all of his body weight in. He's a little bit far away from his hand here, so his body weight's not being utilized as effectively as it possibly could when he's got his hand closer. But he's in this position here, and he's 175 kilos, so it's probably going to work against most people. But let's have a look how this plays out. So Brett again surges. They're sort of stuck in the center here, both very horizontal, and it's in the middle. Maatiewarangi has a better hand position. Brett continues to surge, and he comes up for that press. What an amazing transition he made there. So recognizing that, you can see the amount of effort that he put in to get that win. What an absolutely amazing effort from Brett Coutts there, and from Maatiewarangi, Heta as well, of course. But if you have a look at in this position here, I think Brett has sort of sent several surges into Maatiewarangi's hand. Maatiewarangi looks pretty comfortable there, but he continues to get top position with his hand. He continues to get above Brett's hand, which is what I think Brett realizes, and he decides at this point, has a look over at Maatiewarangi, sees where he is, what he's looking at, and makes the decision to go into a different position and start to press instead. So you can see him slowly working his way up. Another little surge there it is. Comes up for the press. And Maatiewarangi, Heta Morris is in a bad spot there because his arm is fully extended. He does have pronation of his wrist, but I mean, have a look. Brickhouse is putting all of his 107, 108 kilos straight down on Maatiewarangi's arm. And it's a pin for Brett Coutts to pull ahead 1-0 in this first round. Let's have a look at the comments here. Bowen is in. Hello, Bowen, to you. Hey, Matt, crazy how Brett got both wins on the day. Mega work. Absolutely. What an absolute superstar. And you are as well, Bowen. We are always excited whenever we see you come up to the table. And Al Tamati, better production than East versus West. Well, thank you very much. We had a tremendous production crew on the day, and as we said before, we were able to partner with Diamondback Fighting Championship, the DFC. Craig Ike and Greg Hearn were able to put on a tremendous production, and we were lucky enough to be able to work with them and put on this event. So thank you for your compliment there. Term says his bicep makes the King's move much tighter and stronger. Absolutely, 100%. Dominic Lawrence is in. He says, g'day all. G'day to you, Dominic. Absolutely. And Bowen is here. He says, training as we speak. All right. Looking forward to seeing you at the table again soon. And I'm guessing you're probably training towards the tournament at the end of the year, the Over the Top 2 tournament. Unless we put you in a super match earlier than that. But here we go with the second round. So a little bit of hesitation there from Brett. Both guys, they've started, but they did get the slip. Brett, I'm not sure if he was asking to go to starting straps. He usually does in these matches. And but every round here it does start outside of strap, which I think Maatiewarangi was saying, no, I don't want to start in strap. You have to earn it, which is fair enough. I mean, that's your decision. You're allowed to do that. You don't have to start in straps. All right, so we're about to get. This is the second round. So this is we've only seen one round so far. You can see both men have put in such a ton of energy into that first round. And we're going to get referee's grip. Let's get to the actual round start here. Shoulders square. Tim Graham, the referee, doing a great job as always, getting the hands closed. So again, Brett has gone. So in that first round, he was very vertical. Here, he's a little bit more in this position. I think he feels confident at this point that he can catch Maatiewarangi's hit. Let's have a look how this plays out. And there it is. He catches the hit, but he's lost his hand. You can see his hand buckle back a little bit there. Maatiewarangi keeping the pressure on and keeping that top position and the pressure in Brett's hand. Brett wants to get his hand cupped again, but he's not able to do it. You can see a regrip there from Maatiewarangi. He climbs again over Brett's hand. Brett is in a tough position to come back here. He needs pronation of his hand and wrist, which he doesn't get, and Maatiewarangi is able to seal the deal and get the pin for round 2 there. Tremendous effort from Maatiewarangi and a great hold. Again, there's that bicep power of Brett Coutts, which is absolutely insane. The ability to be able to hold in those positions for 175 kilos. Was that 385 pounds? This is insanely strong. And not only heavy, he's incredibly strong. He's like one of the, I think he holds a record for the bench press in New Zealand. So for Brett to be able to hold that position is absolutely incredible. Rickard Bornman is here. He says, hey, Matt, how you doing? Good to see you, Rickard. We saw that you have a match coming up against Pablo at East vs. West. We can't wait to see that and see you continue your rise in the sport. You're doing tremendous things, and it is always great to see you doing well. You have a fantastic attitude, and your family is also lovely. So we hope big and fantastic things come your way. Term says, who's the top 3 in Australia right now? Actually, we've got the rankings. I can look that up for you in a minute, Term. There is Jacob Johnston in Canberra, I think he is. There is in Newcastle. I don't know. But he runs the rankings for the Australian and New Zealand area, and he updated it after this event. So I will have a look at that because he does do a good job of that. All right. So again, we're starting outside of straps here. I think this does go to slip again. If it does, I will continue with the comments. No, they're not happy. They're not happy at all. Bit of a disagreement. Yeah, they do end up in the strap somehow, but that's all right. No one cares if we miss a slip, do we? All right, let's get to it. Here we go. Oh, Brett, with a lot of carving there. When we say carving, ideally, the shoulders are going to be facing your opponent, and your hand should be right here. What most people want is this, because, so if you were square, you'd be there. What people want to do is this. Because it puts you in a better leverage position. And so the referee will, instead of you're here, the referee will like, no, bring that shoulder back out. So Tim Graham, the veteran referee there, making sure that none of that shenanigans is happening. So Brett's shoulder very close to his hand. You can see here. And Maatiewarangi breathing out of his mouth. He's used a ton of energy. It's only 1-1 here. It's 1st to 4, which is it's a long stretch when you're in these insane wars back and forth with an opponent that can catch you and hold you in those positions like Brett Coutts can. He's gone high again. He's gone for the press. I thought he may. I should have said it. The way his shoulder, when I said about his shoulder and his hand being right against each other, and he was turning in, it's all clues that he's going to be bringing that shoulder forwards and jumping in on the press, which is exactly what he did. So he did do a flop press, I think. I think he deliberately let his wrist kick back to be able to get into that position. So it all depends on being able to get that shoulder in, and you can see here right there, he's driving that shoulder forwards. Maatiewarangi going for the standard top roll position. And it feels like you've got what you want when somebody flops their wrist, because you start to pressure and their wrist goes back and you're like, oh, this is great, I've got what I want. But you don't realize that they're now putting their entire body weight onto you, which is exactly what happened right there. So what a great win for Brett there. That's 2-1. He is up. Let's go back to the comments here. School Nutty Boy says he met Bowen at the tournament the day before East versus West 18 in Chicago. Oh, that's fantastic. Wouldn't be Bowen Cantado, who is Bowen Cantado right here. It would be Ryan Bowen, I'm guessing. I hope that you had a good time. Did you get on the table with him at all? Or because he was at the tournament. He did well in the tournament as well, so that would have been a lot of fun. He would have sounded just like me. David Jansen says he can't wait to see your next match, Rickard, and we can't either. If we could see him pull every week, we would. That'd be amazing. And good luck, he also says. And Rickard says, thanks, David. Big one coming up. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Getting the win will be amazing. You've got it, champ, says David Jansen to Rickard Bornman with his East versus West match against Pavlo, which is that's a big opponent. That's a big name in the sport. And we wish all the best for Rickard Bornman. And we can't wait to see it. All right, let's have a look. So I'm just going to skip through to the strap. Actually, I think they agreed to start in the strap here, which is great for everybody. All right, and we'll see if Brett is going to go for that press again. We'll see if those same indicators, his shoulder being really close, the carving, the angle of his body, is he going to be going straight for that press? Looks like there it is. He's gone in on it, but Maatiewarangi was ready this time. He's caught it, but he wasn't able to contain the strength of Brett Coutts there. He did hold it for a couple of seconds. You can see off the start, Brett jumped straight in on as with the previous round, but Maatiewarangi was prepared this time. He kept pronation of his wrist. He dropped back. He did everything right here. It's just the strength of Brett Coutts that really brought him back in. Right here, he had an opportunity where he tried to surge. You can see him pushing back against Brett there. He's trying to time. He's trying to get the right position. Brett taking that breath and then being able to drive his whole body weight down and get that pin. So he's found a path to victory here. He's up 3-1. It's first to 4. So the decisions he's making throughout this match working out in his favor. He doesn't want to have these long, drawn-out horizontal wars in the hook where Maatiewarangi was able to get a pin in the second round. But he's found that the press is working for him. So keep in mind, this is his second match of the night. So the first one was a 4-1 victory over Lachlan Adair. So he has had 5 rounds before going into this match. And right here, he's had another 4. So he's 9 rounds in at this point. And we're about to get the start. I can't remember whether they slip or not. If I normally try to skip past slips, but I can't remember. So we will check it out and see how it plays out here. Maatiewarangi not happy with the setup. Something about, I think he did have some issues with his forearm blowing up, which was making it difficult for him through the match. Let's have a look. Okay, looks like we're going to get a start. And we'll see if that press comes into play again. Looks like it's going to. All indications, Brett's shoulder. Maatiewarangi, there he's missed the start, I think. And I think he just didn't have anything left at that point. Brett asking the question, did I false start? Tim Graham, the referee, saying, no, you didn't. And Brett getting the victory. He is now he won both the belts on the night. And already having been a champion, he is now a triple champion with AWE. And what an incredible, incredible effort. So Brett Coutts, what an absolute legend being able to do that. Let's go to the post-match interview because there's some funny moments in that. Well, some interesting moments. I'll put the sound back on for you guys.
Very first triple champ. You are the AWE left-hand heavyweight champion, the AWE Oceanic left-hand champion, and now the AWE Intercontinental champion at 47 years of age. Ladies and gentlemen, Brett Coutts.
We have seen the matches take place now. We have a new champion in Brett Coutts, a triple belt holder. Fantastic effort, mate. Well done. And an amazing effort from Maatiewarangi, Heta Morris as well. Coming up short, unfortunately, in that match, but you put on a valiant show, and everyone, when you walked out, I heard the crowd just go, it was like, look at this enormous beast coming to the cage. We'll start with you, Maatiewarangi. How did you feel walking into the octagon?
I felt good, man. I felt hyped up. I felt good to go. I felt excited.
Yeah, you looked ready. You looked like you were switched on. You were ready to go. What about in the first round? How did you feel? Because it was a bit of a back and forth war, and that seemed to be the play of the match as it took place. Was there a point in that first round when you were like, I need to change tactics, or did you feel comfortable in that spot?
In our first round, I think the mistake I made was I was thinking too much. Sticking off different angles instead of the one that I originally wanted to go through. And Brett came through strong.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to be able to watch you guys compete in there. Brett, for yourself, triple belt holder with AWE now, walking into the octagon for the second time tonight. How did that feel? Did there a little bit less pressure going in, or did you?
I probably felt better because I was warmed up. But seeing Matt in there was daunting. It's like, no, how am I going to get through this? But yeah, I got through it. It wasn't the prettiest match, but I found an opening.
Yeah.
And did what I could do.
Yeah.
And I think Matt got very unlucky. I'm slow, and I hit 2 starts better than I've ever hit before. So it was a bit of luck and a bit of endurance. and I just wouldn't give up.
No, that's right. Yeah, you're known for that never quitting attitude. And Maatiewarangi, did it surprise you when Brett went for that flop press?
First of all, it wasn't luck. We put the work in, man, and it paid off. No, it didn't surprise me. He's always had a style that can transition into a press, and it's about time we found it.
Yeah.
It's working well for him, so I wasn't a surprise.
And the special meaning for tonight, you had your grandmother as well. That the last time that you'd had a match with Brett, that it was the last time that she'd seen you arm wrestle against him, and unfortunately not able to get the win, but she would have been very proud of how you performed tonight and walking into the cage. You're an absolutely legendary arm wrestler, and it's a pleasure and a privilege to have you compete with us here at the AWE. So thank you, mate. You're an absolute legend. Good on you. All right, and the triple belt holder, Brett Coutts, congratulations. I don't know, you're going to have to find places for these belts to go.
That's not a problem. I'll take as many as you want, if I can get them.
Oh, and maybe rematches in the future. They've got all sorts of possibilities with you guys. But thank you so much for competing with us.
I need to do a lot of work before I do that again.
Absolutely.
I pull that one up again.
No, for sure. Thank you. All right, fantastic. And we'll get to Term's question here, which I've loaded up the arm wrestling rankings. He did ask about who is the top 3 in Australia right now. Let me adjust this so you can see that a little bit better. Maybe I'll make it a lot bigger so you guys can really see it properly. And that's me there. Okay, great. So the Oceanic arm wrestler ranks. This is Jacob Johnston, who does a great job of this. And you can see here, he made the adjustments based on the AWE event. And on left arm, we've got number 1, Brett Coutts, and he is closely followed by Lachlan Adair. And number 3 is, surprisingly, Maatiewarangi Heta Morris. It's the 3 guys that were in our event. And on the right arm, Lachlan Adair sits at the number 1 position in the king spot. Richard Bornman followed up in number 2. And we were talking about a potential match between the two of them earlier tonight. Richard does have a match lined up with Pablo, and God, if I could try to pronounce his last name, Debenemyev. I think it is Pablo Debenemyev. That's probably incorrect, but you try it and see how you go with it. But we're very much looking forward to seeing that. And in 3rd position on right arm, Brett Coutts, and he's just sitting above Maatiewarangi Heta Morris there. And so some familiar names and characters, but it was great to be able to have the top 3 in the Oceanic region facing off against each other on in our most recent event with Lachlan Adair and Brett Coutts on left, and then Brett Coutts and Maatiewarangi Heta Morris on right. So Bin Ladder says that I always want Mate to high hook. Yeah, I think he usually does top roll, so I don't know if he really does high hook, but yeah, I think he had some shoulder injuries or something in the last year or 2 that had maybe prevented him from being able to use the techniques that he prefers. But yeah, just having a look through these rankings here, Bon Catado, who we were talking to earlier and may still be watching, he is sitting at the top of the 100 kilo class on the left arm. Pepe Penzetti sitting at number 2, and Andy Boskowski is sitting at number 3. On the right, we've got Ryan Bowen and Jordan Davis. Corey Skinner, I think it is number 3. So that's the 100 kilo class. Ryan, I think, is over 100 kilos at the moment. So he'd probably have to drop weight to be able to get into that class, which he might be doing. I don't know. We'll have to see. His weight seems to change quite a lot. He gets into these certain things, and then the weight drops off him, and then he bulks up again, and yeah, he's a very chameleon type, keeps continuously changing. Artamati says, who would win right now on the righty, Ryan Bowen or Mario Tambakis? That is a good question. We'd love to find out the answer to that. Both guys doing very well internationally. Ryan Bowen had competing in the tournament over in the East versus West most recent event, and did very well on not only his right arm but his left arm, which is really weird because he doesn't normally train his left at all, but he obviously has stepped that up, and he's included the left arm because he beat Artem Taranenko, the Russian spy, on his left, which is quite the feat. Artem Taranenko, one of the top arm wrestlers coming out of the United States. And it was incredible to see that. So Mario Tabak is also doing very well. He went over to Arizona States and did phenomenally well against the Americans there. And he has had some great super matches. We always trying to find matches for Mario. And if the two of them went against each other, that would be incredible as well. We'd love to see that. All right. So, yes, it was great night for AWE to be able to put the event together, to have such amazing athletes come together and face off in such a manner. And we were so happy with the production and the way that it was presented. And yes, I think there was a lot of good things that came out of that. And from the feedback that we've had on the comments, from the people that we've had in person, people really did enjoy the event and they valued the production side of things. So very much appreciate everyone who put in effort to make that event come together. And we might finish things up here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me here at Arm Wrestling Tonight. You can see the other match review on our channel from the previous episode. I think it's episode 84, and this is 85, where Brett Coutts faced off against Lock On It Air. You can see the techniques and strategies and everything that were implemented throughout the match. But very much appreciate having you guys stop in, and we will look forward to bringing you a lot more arm wrestling content next time.